I think the biggest story of the day that's come out is on a Monday is always chock full of stories. But the thing is, what we'll have is Sunday, the Sunday shows, all of the Sunday shows where the politicians go on and try and get their point out. So this week, I think the one that was coming out was Joe Biden was on Meet the Press, and he was asked about the gay marriage issue. I'm not really sure where it came from, but he was asked about the situation in general there and what's going to happen if the Obama administration gets a second term. So in video number 4, he talks about how comfortable he is with gay marriage, which, I mean, I think it's not a big surprise, but it's somehow become a big surprise.
And you're comfortable with same-sex marriage now?
Look, I am Vice President of the United States of America. The President sets the policy. I am absolutely comfortable with the fact that men marrying men, women marrying women, and heterosexual men and women marrying women are entitled to the same exact rights, all the civil rights, all the civil liberties. And quite frankly, I don't see much of a distinction beyond that.
So now there's been a big response. I mean, of course, support from gay support community and things like that. So they're like, oh, this is great. Finally, it's officially the stance. The administration has evolved towards the obvious truth that what's the difference? Everyone, if you love someone, you can have a chance to marry them with equal rights.
Okay, so let's take a step back, because Obama's official position all along has been that he's in favor of gay rights and civil unions, but that he's not quite in favor of gay marriage, and that his position on that is evolving. Mm-hmm. And
but it's a distinction purely in what you call it. I mean, as far as like the benefits of what you get being married and all, it sounds like he fully supports gay marriage, just not gay marriage, as a technical term.
Right. So the evolution is complete.
Even when I think it was Tony Perkins last week, basically came on and said essentially the same thing, that he doesn't want to deny rights to gay people. They just don't want to call it marriage, which seems like it's the strangest thing. It's like we just don't want you stepping on our this territory that we've blocked out for ourselves rhetorically, but not in any kind of. They're not even bothering to argue that they shouldn't have the same kind of rights.
And it's just on labels. Like they don't want to call it sex either. Well, I mean, they want to call it you. I mean, which one is? It doesn't matter what a label is. So there's some kind of and what it comes to, they can specify it as that way. But what it really comes to is they don't want to be a recognition of any kind of regularity in their life. And really, I guess it begs the same question: why would you want? What is that doing to you? Who cares what they call it?
I have a problem with that, though. What if people said, you know what, interracial marriage should not be called marriage. It should just be called a civil union. Mm-hmm. But it's wrong for a black person and a white person to get married, or an Asian person and a black person, whatever the combination may be. But we'll call all of those civil unions. You get the exact same rights, we just can't call it marriage. Right. I have a problem with that. It should be called marriage because that's what it is. And if you are not allowed to use that word, it's a sign of second-class status. Totally. I mean, if you have two drinking fountains and they're equal, and one is labeled for coloreds and one is labeled for whites, but they're totally equal drinking fountains, there's still a stigma attached to it. I'm against it. That's why I think the LGBT community has been less than thrilled with Obama's position, because it's a bit of a hedging position where he says, I'm in favor of your rights, I'm just not sure that I'm in favor of you having complete and total equality on this issue. So Biden's statements here seems to go beyond what Obama has been saying all along, and that's the big excitement over this issue.
The second term, will this administration come out behind same-sex marriage, the institution of marriage?
I can't speak to that. I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you.
It sounds like you'd like to see it happen, if that's where the president would get to.
The president continues to fight, whether it's don't ask, don't tell, or whether it is making sure across the board that you cannot discriminate.
I mean, I think in general.
Is it going to happen?
Yeah, well, in general, I think they're just trying to make it they're sort of clouding up the atmosphere to kind of be able to have this mean different things to different people in sort of a similar way that they say, all you extreme libs, as Cenk would probably put it, you guys read into what Obama said in the election and you saw what you wanted to. And I feel like this is maybe even like a conscious effort to do that, to like sort of make it not entirely clear where everyone's coming from, because the White House came out and said, oh, well, Biden's statements are no different from anything that the president has previously expressed. So it's like, I think they're just trying to say to the gay activists, don't worry, we're totally there. But then they also don't want to actually have, I guess, whatever liability they perceive it being, to just come out and fully say, yeah, we support gay marriage.